Hello, I'm Joyce Downing, Mayor of the City of Northglenn, and welcome to Northglenn Now, what's new in Northglenn. Today we have Lauren Weatherly with us. She's a member of the Historic Preservation Commission, something very close to my heart. So welcome. I am very glad that you're here. It's very exciting. Can you give me a little information about the background of the commission and how it got started and why?
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much to you for the opportunity to be here, and I just want to kind of acknowledge that you're the chair of the commission, so we do work closely together.
Yes.
So I love the story of how the commission formed. It's such a passionate story of civic engagement. So when Northglenn was founded in 1969, there was not automatically a preservation commission. The Preservation Commission was founded in 1997 specifically to save one building. So there's a building that's over on Fox Run Parkway over in East Northglenn that's called the Stonehawker House. And it's a historic farmhouse. By 1997, it had fallen into some extreme disrepair and the city had slated it for demolition. And at that time, there was a group of citizens who really banded together to fight for that building, really believing in the historic value of it. And so the Preservation Commission was formed for that specific reason. And you know, thank goodness it was, because it worked. The building is still standing, it's beautiful, and it's remained kind of one of the projects of the commission.
As you know, is very close to my heart, and being a original member and creator of the commission, you know that I'll always be there to support it, you know.
Absolutely.
For sure. So tell us, why is it important to Northglenn?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it's a historic farmhouse. It's the oldest standing brick farmhouse in Adams County, which is pretty interesting. So the property originally was homesteaded by a man named John Thiede. And so the house is actually referred to as both the Stonehawker House and the Thiede House, just for clarification purposes. So the original property was homesteaded, and then the house itself was built in 1903. And it kind of changed hands a couple of times in the 1910s, 1920s, and then was bought by the Stonehawker family in 1936. And so they owned it all the way up until the late 70s when the city acquired that property and that building. And there were some plans at the time to build a park and do some things around it that didn't quite come to fruition, which kind of leads us up to when in 1997 the building had fallen into disrepair and it was going to get torn down. So since the commission was formed, a major project has been around restoring that building both inside and out to period appropriate condition, and it's a huge project, but it's really exciting, and it's really lovely that Northglenn is so invested in this wonderful historic asset.
Is the house open to the public?
It is. We love showing the building to the public. So one of the biggest ways that people can get inside the building is an event that we do every year, Old Fashioned Christmas, which is always the first weekend of December. And so that's a big event where the whole house is decorated for the holidays, inside and out. There's carolers, there's a number of different Christmas items for sale, there's food, there's Santa for the children, and it's just a really wonderful time to kind of come, build community, get to look around the house, and just spend some time with other people in Northglenn. So in addition to that, we are always open to doing tours for various groups, various people. Really, people just have to get in touch with us because, as I said, we love showing that house to people.
We do.
So we've hosted tours for Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops, school groups, and then it's also available for event rentals. So people have rented it for various types of parties. We just had a wedding there, which is really exciting. So yeah, just get in touch with us. Is what I would say to people.
I know, it is exciting, and we can tour outside in the good weather as well as inside the house. So recently, the Northglenn was named a certified local government, and that's under the National Historic Preservation Act. So, and that is probably one of the most exciting things we've accomplished recently. It's taken a long time to do that, several years, actually. So, you tell us what it means for the commission and the city of Northglenn?
Yeah, it's as you mentioned, we're just so excited about this because there was an extensive kind of application and vetting process that we, went through. So basically, the process being a certified local government is a program through the State Historic Preservation Office in collaboration with the national historic preservation efforts, as you mentioned. And it's really important because it plugs us into a larger network of preservationists throughout the state of Colorado. Because we're just embarking on this, we're just getting into the process of learning about all of the different benefits. But basically what it means is we've been recognized as a community that's ready to work on historic preservation projects on a larger scale, and that as a community we're invested. So the state is recognizing Northglenn for having those qualities. And it also opens us up to a lot more resources, so we can potentially work on new, different, bigger projects as we move forward. So the different types of resources include human resources, so we have access to people at the state office, we have people we can call with questions, we have access to training and education through that program, and then we also have access to grant funding. So the state office is responsible for managing pools of money and granting it to certified local governments to work on preservation projects. So it really opens a lot of new doors for us as a commission.
I'm just going to tap into you just a little bit because you mentioned new projects, or can you mention a few that you might be working on, or the commission might be working on?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So one of the projects that is very near and dear to my heart is we've been working to research Deza Estates, which is a neighborhood it's a small enclave of 28 homes over by Huron and 99th, and all of those homes are completely custom and very interesting design. They were built in the 50s, mid-century modern style, so large open floor plans, floor-to-ceiling windows. The houses are situated on a hill, and so just my house, for example, when I walk out on the back patio, I can see this amazing view of Denver and the mountains, and that was all very intentional in the building of the neighborhood. So I think we've known for quite some time that these buildings are special, but they've kind of been a mystery to a lot of us about the origin stories of the neighborhood. And so I've been doing some research, talking to people who grew up in the neighborhood, and trying to learn more about the developer. And it's research that's still very much in process. So if anybody who's watching this has information, welcome them to reach out. So that's an in-process project that's very exciting. We've also just started a conversation with the congregation at St. Stephen's Lutheran Church, which is a really beautiful mid-century modern building that was designed by Charles Hartling, who's quite a well-known architect in Boulder. And it was built in 1964, I believe. And it it's very representative, it's very organic, it has sort of big winged roof, and it's very representative of Hartling's style. And so we've just entered into some conversations with the church congregation. It's very special to them, it's very special to us as a city, and so we're kind of exploring some pathways for that.
Right. Can you tell me a little bit, or speak a little bit more about the commission and the role of the commission saving these type of places?
Yeah, so basically, it's a process of reaching out to community members, businesses, as well as people at the city, and just kind of bringing people together around these conversations about historic preservation. We know that historic preservation is a great builder of sustainability in cities. It builds community engagement, community investment. And so it's really a process of kind of working with all these different stakeholders to identify opportunities. Northglenn itself is just getting ready to celebrate its 50th anniversary as a city in 2019.
That's right.
And in order for something to be considered historic, it has to be at least 50 years old. So a lot of the buildings that were part of the city originally were built, are sort of just getting to that point where they're considered historic. And so it's exciting to get to kind of look at what's possible.
Yeah. Also, we have another arm to the commission, which is the foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about the foundation and what the foundation does?
Yeah, so the foundation was formed just a couple of years after the commission was, and its primary purpose is fundraising. So, you know, the foundation participates in some of the Northglenn events to raise money, raise funds for different projects that the commission takes on. Always welcome private donations, donations of various types. So it's really the financial arm.
Great. So tell me, who else is on the commission and works with us?
Yeah, so there's currently 8 members, formal members on the commission. So in addition to us, we have Diane Cooksey, Elizabeth Candelario, Jack White, Jerry Gavette, Marianne Gillespie, and Yvonne Lehman. And between us, I think there's a whole range of, you know, different levels of experience. So from people who have been involved from the very beginning to, you know, I'm kind of the new kid on the block, and sort of everything in between. So it's really great to get to work with such a diverse kind of group of people with such an array of experiences and history with this organization.
Yeah. So if someone wanted to become involved with the commission, how would they go about it?
Yeah, so you can find information on the Northglenn website, which is northglenn.org/preservation commission. And then we also have a Northglenn history website, so northglennhistory.com. And then those two websites link to each other as well. So we definitely welcome more voices in the conversation. There's all kinds of opportunities from volunteering at these different events that we hold to, you know, inquiring about more formal positions with the foundation or the commission. So, you know, I just encourage anybody out there to get in touch with us if you're interested.
Right, absolutely. Thank you, Lauren. I really appreciate it. This is an exciting project for all of us. For more information concerning the Northglenn Historic Preservation Commission, please visit northglenn.org.